All right. All right, we are about to get right into Capricorn, guys. So, another minute or so before I'm going to start. This is the last of the Earth sign weeklies. So, Taurus and Virgo are now up and done. I'm going to go through and try and timestamp those videos later on because they do run a little bit longer since they're streaming videos. But today is all about Capricorn, right? So if you're stopping by, welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. Thank you for stopping by today. Hopefully this reading will resonate with you. If you're cross-watching, the fire signs came out fire and air signs came out yesterday. Today we are doing the earth and water signs, and they're all up on my channel. You can use the hashtag link at the bottom of the screen. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I put notifications of these videos up on those sites as well. And I'm Bow and Arrow Tarot or Bow Arrow Tarot on those sites. All right, so yes, it is now 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to get right into it. So Capricorn, for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm going to pull out 3 romance angel messages. Then we'll do 3 animal spirits. We'll get into those, and then we're going to go through a series of 3-card forecasts for the week to see what scenarios you may or may not be dealing with this week. All right, Capricorn, so let's get right into it. Deception. Wow, someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. All right, so this is one of the cards I say in my videos. There's certain cards that are main players, regular players, right? Deception is rarely comes up in my readings, but here we are. And wow, let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Interesting. And we have give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. All right. Now, the weeklies are general readings, right? So this could or may or may not be about love relationship. It is romance angel messages, but of course, this could be at work. This could be in family situations, friend situations as well. We won't really know until we pull out the rest of your cards. So before we get into anything else with those messages, deception, let go of control issues, give your relationship a chance. Wow. Let's get into your animal spirits. Now, your animal spirits could be indicative of events coming into your life, stages in your life, energy in your life that you're drawing on. If you're going through a particularly rough patch in your life, what kind of energy you may be resonating with, or what kind of energy certain people in your life may be resonating with, right? We draw upon different spirit animal energies throughout our lives. At times we can resonate with one spirit animal and other times with another. Okay. All right. So Capricorn, of course, just take whatever applies to you and disregard the rest. We know this reading can't be for every Capricorn. Straight out, we have the camel. Wow. All right. So camel. This is interesting because the camel is a perfect animal spirit to come out in situations like this. And I'm going to explain to you why in a moment. The gazelle. Also fire. Both of these are fire elementals. That triangle at the top of the card is the alchemical symbol for fire. And we have the golden egg. Now the golden egg is associated with the 4th chakra, which is the heart chakra, right? 5th being throat, 6th is the 3rd eye, and the 7th chakra, of course, is the crown. So here we're talking about opening up your heart chakra. That symbol at the top is the alchemical symbol for spirit or ether. And the 7 mythical beasts or mystical objects associated with the ether spirits are all associated and connected to the chakras. All right, so before we get into your spread, let's just talk about these 3 beautiful animal spirits that are coming in. It's quite interesting. So the camel, first of all, with the camel, what we talk about is we talk about a self-sufficiency, right? Being a survivor. The camel is a survivor. The camel is can go for extremely long stretches of time and distance without without having to replenish itself externally. It carries its replenishment internally. If you know what camels, we know about their humps that carry the water for them, right? And this is how they maintain themselves. Now, they live in a desert. They live in hot climates. Camel energy comes in when you're dealing with people who are hot, heated, argumentative. The camel is able to remain cool. The camel is able to remain calm. The camel is able to let go of control issues, right? And be self-sufficient. It doesn't need anybody else to survive, right? Camel has a lot of deep spiritual reservoirs that it can pull on to keep itself sort of tempered in situations. Very, very spiritually strong animal in terms of surviving. Certainly when you're dealing with an abusive relationship. If you are dealing with an abusive relationship or a toxic relationship, if you're dealing with somebody who's a control freak or somebody who has a lot of anger issues, camel energy is something that can come into you that you can draw on. This characteristic of the camel, this energy of the camel that you can draw on to maintain yourself in the face of this sort of negativity. To remain cool, not to get swept up in it, not to succumb to it, to survive it, to leave it as well. Because camels are walkers, distancers, travelers, right? This is also the sign for traveling, the spirit animal for traveling, when you have to leave one area to get to another, when you have to leave one particularly emotionally dry or spiritually sort of bankrupt situation to move towards an oasis. The camel is what carries you out of that desert and into something more beautiful. Very good energy when you're dealing with a situation that involves deception or control issues. Now, the gazelle is also a fire animal, but the gazelle is, first of all, the gazelle is beauty and motion. This is a person who is oftentimes a dancer associated with movement, physical movement, and beauty, right? Very, very, of course, a fire, very fiery. But the gazelle is extremely alert. The gazelle is aware, right? Watching out, you know. I mean, these guys are like the potato chips of the savannah, aren't they? Every other creature out there hunts gazelles and these kinds of animals, right? They are prey for the apex predators. And they really are. I mean, I call them potato chips because they're picked off like that, you know? So they always have to be vigilant. They always have to be aware. And so the gazelle also comes in at a time in your life where you need to be vigilant, when you need to be aware. Now, you don't want to go to the extreme and be hyper vigilant, right? And expecting danger at every turn, then you will end up kind of going into more rabid energy. But with the gazelle, we're talking about protecting yourself, right? And again, if you are in a difficult situation or difficult relationship, perhaps, or environment that is not that is dangerous, a dangerous or an unhealthy environment, the gazelle energy comes in to sort of give you that ability to remain aware, to remain focused, to remain sort of instinctually, you know, your instincts are on high alert, right? Keep them that way. This is important, right? Because especially if you're dealing with people who are lying or being deceptive, or in fact dealing with an abusive relationship, which is what I'm feeling for some of you, the gazelle energy is there to protect you. It's a self-protective sort of energy. Then we have the golden egg, and like I said earlier, the golden egg is associated with the heart chakra, but the golden egg is golden because in order to open up your heart, we need warmth, right? Warmth. We need to be warm in how we interact with each other, a sense of comfort and nurturing, you know, comfortability. Your heart will open when you feel comfortable, right? When you feel as though you're protected, and when you feel as though, and the warmth is the love of somebody coming back at you. It's the exchange of energy is what creates heat, and, you know, heat, basically, right? And so warmth, when we talk about warmth, we're talking about exchanging your emotions with each other, giving a bit of your energy over to somebody. This is what warms people up, and this is what opens up their heart. And the opening of the heart chakra is very important when you need to sort of face up to your feelings. Again, if you're dealing with a situation or a relationship where your feelings... Hello, Aries, Cappy D. Hello, how you doing? And welcome. You got Capricorn, Moon, and Rising. Oh, wow. Aries, Sun, and Venus. Wow. Interesting. Okay. My Venus is actually in Capricorn, so I also resonate with Capricorn energy, but I'm a Sagittarius myself. But so the heart chakra, what I'm talking about here as well is that oftentimes when you're dealing with situations that can be difficult, where you're dealing with, when you're sort of putting up, right? Putting up with it, right? We need to open up our... Oftentimes we associate opening up our heart chakra with giving to others, right? That's not the only reason we want to open up our heart. Oftentimes we need to open up our heart chakra to give rise and give a voice to our true feelings. And if you're truly unhappy in a situation, if the control issues of someone else or your own need to have control issues have gotten out of hand, if you're dealing with deception, or if you're dealing with dysfunctional relationships or toxic relationships, but you've not been very honest about how much they've been affecting you, it's time to open up your heart chakra. It's time to really be honest with how you feel. The expressing that we would then move into the realm of the throat chakra and connecting that with the heart. But first we start with the heart chakra in as much as acknowledging what our true feelings are and validating them for ourselves, not needing them to be validated by anybody else, but understanding that if this is the feeling that's coming out of our own hearts, then it is by nature valid. It is by definition valid. All right, Capricorn, we are going to get right into your 3-card spreads for the week, depending on how long I spend on each. We'll pull out anywhere from 5 to 8 scenarios. And this is the last of the Earth Sign Weeklies. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Bow and Arrow Tarot, or Bow Arrow Tarot on those sites. I'm going to put the link in the chat later on before I end the video. And the links are in the description, of course. All right, Capricorn, let's just see. And of course, these may or may not resonate with you. We see a kind of theme happening here, right? But let's see what this all means for your situation this week. All right, let's go. 3 of Wands, 6 of Cups, and 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so for some of you, you've been having to be very patient about moving forward with a particular project or endeavor, right? You're trying to maintain, you're at home, you have a love connection right now with the 6 of Cups. Some of you have a very, very nice connection here with someone. This could be a very deep friendship, or it could indeed be a soulmate connection. But right now, your relationships in general are really full of a lot of pleasure. You're really enjoying yourself right now. Six of Cups doesn't always necessarily just mean one soulmate connection. It just means that you're having a lot of bliss and pleasure in your relationships right now, right? It can also indicate a lot of sensuality. It can indicate a lot of exchange of that heart chakra energy, right? And so right now, you're certainly feeling this, you're coming into, or you're at least coming into this feeling this week if it was not there before. But you are starting off the week having to be very patient about moving forward. And you're juggling two things, right? You're juggling a couple of things um, to support this endeavor here. I'm going to say for some of you, you may be wanting to ask someone to marry you, right? An example of this would be you're wanting to raise this relationship to an even higher level of commitment. You're extremely, yes, it is a weird combo, right? You're extremely happy with this relationship. You may be wanting to raise it to a higher level of commitment or take it along its path. But here you're having to wait. You're having to exercise Three of Wands as patience and waiting before you make your next move, surveying the lay of the land. And although you're eager to sort of take this relationship to the next level, and this is why I say for some of you, you may be wanting to move in or ask someone to marry you or waiting for someone to ask you to marry them, right? Or whatever the case may be, this next step here with this Three of Wands is about this relationship, but you're having to wait and you're over here juggling two jobs. It could be that you're having to wait because of finances, right? It could be that you're having to wait because right now there are too many responsibilities that you're juggling and you can't really focus right now on your relationship and moving that in the direction that you want to move it, right? And so you're having to wait, all right? And that's okay. And so for some of you, if you're feeling very aggravated about this, remember letting go of control issues. Sometimes you can't control everything, right? You can't control everything in your life. And sometimes certainly when things are happening in such a way that everything it's not lining up right for you to take the next step. You in life is forcing you to be patient. It's always for a reason. Okay, so just if you're feeling like you're wanting to control this more than you can, let go of control issues. All right, Capricorn. We already know Capricorn is definitely leader and controller of his own life. Six of Wands, Death, and the Queen of Wands. Wow. Some of you are certainly going through a victory this week in a sense that you're going to have a vindication coming in. It could very well be that you stuck your neck out. An example would be, Capricorn, that you stuck your neck out on a particular issue previous to now. You made your position known or your opinion known, and it wasn't a very popular one. It could be that people were really kind of like, not supporting you, maybe even trying to just speak out against you or make you seem as though you didn't know what you were talking about. It was very difficult. You probably felt very solitary. Camel energy, right? It could be that you were presenting a particular position, and in the face of that, people were reacting very angrily and unsupportive. And so you've had to go into more of that camel energy in the sense of being your own supporter and really kind of going through this dry stretch. It could even be at work that this happened and it caused you to maybe lose money or maybe not be part of a particular project or something like that. And so it caused maybe some lean times or a rocky road for you where you've had to really sort of like depend on your own reservoir to maintain, right? But this week, you get your comeuppance. This week, you get your victory. And it's very public. Everybody sees it. The people who didn't support you, I'm going to say, are feeling very dumb right now. But this is a temporary victory, but it's a good victory. It's a strong victory. And what happens is that everything changes on the face of it. For those of you, for instance, who were getting a lot of blockages, and I'm over here talking about the time before this week, right? So wherever you were here, sort of getting that blockage, getting that sort of lack of support, whatever that led up to this victory this week, this all turns around. An example would be that on the job, if for instance you didn't get a particular promotion or part of a particular project as a result of this dynamic that happened here, that completely flips around, and this week it all changes and everybody comes crawling back to you, and it transforms, and you come out with a Queen of Wands in the sense that you end this week really having learned a great lesson somewhere. Some of you will have learned a great lesson in dealing with certain issues a particular way. It could be that you know what I mean is to say that this victory comes in and it's, you don't have this feeling of like, nah, see, I told you so. You don't feel like that at all, you know, and that would be a very sort of low vibrational sort of reaction. No, you feel proud and you feel vindicated, right? But you really do feel more than anything a really strong sense of accomplishment with Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is, she's the queen who's been through a lot of difficult times, but she's learned from them, and she never really holds that over anybody, or she doesn't, you know, suddenly feel like she's better than anyone, or, you know, what she learns through these situations is compassion. She's one of the most compassionate queens in the deck, right? This is why she kind of hides a lot of her transformation. If you were to see her in her full glory, she will be unapproachable. But she kind of makes herself, she's a queen of fire, and look how she's dressed. You know, it's like she demurs herself down a little bit so that she can be approachable by those who seek her counsel. This is compassion. And so what you learn out of this situation is a level of compassion, and you really ascend a little bit in your own sort of experience and wisdom about life. And this was a very good period. It was a good thing for you to go through. Like I say, it may have been very difficult, and you certainly had to pull on some camel energy. But I think you come out of it, you know, resonating a little bit higher, having learned a bit more compassion about others, and even opening up your heart chakra a bit. 8 of Pentacles, King of Wands, and 6 of Swords. So some of you have really been knuckling down to work. You've been restricting yourself. You've been disciplining yourself. You want to maintain your mastery, or you want to attain mastery of your craft, of a particular area in your career. 8 is the number for boundaries. It's also the number for restrictions and strengths. Knowing what your strengths are and playing to them. Knowing when too much is too much, right? But more than anything, here we talk about how restrictions can be positive when you want to be disciplined, right? When you restrict yourself from going out and partying every night if you're trying to get up in the morning and get to work and achieve something, right? That's a form of restricting yourself. People can sometimes say, you know, some people are like, oh, I'm such a free spirit, I don't restrict myself on anything. Well, then you must not be very good at anything. Because you can't get good at anything without some discipline, you know, and you can't live your life with this so-called free spirit attitude and maintain no discipline and have a truly successful and prosperous and ultimately fulfilling life. You just can't. That's a delusion. All right. And so in this way, you've been working very hard, Capricorn, as you normally do. You are one of the hardest workers in the deck, I want to say in the zodiac sign, for sort of manifesting your ideas in the material. And so this week you continue to work hard, you continue to really knuckle down on a particular project, but King of Wands comes in. And it could be that you come across somebody who is this King of Wands, a character, they're looking on you. They may be casting their eyes on you. It could go two ways. It could be that they're supportive. It could be that they're standing in your way, right? Interestingly enough, you come out of this week wanting to journey away, wanting to make trip or travel. You may go and travel. This could be somebody that you work with who is in a leadership role. They may be the owner of the company, or they may be your boss. They may be a senior member, or somewhere along the line, this person has just a little bit of a higher status than you. But I do feel like that they're coming into you this week because they either want your skill, they want to work with you, But they come in, strangely enough, I get a weird feeling that part of the way they come in is very controlling. You're not really sure how to accept it. They may be coming in with the good intentions, right? And with this air of wanting to support you or wanting to propel you in your career, but there's something not quite right here. Um, and so at the end of the week, or at the end of, towards the end of the week, some of you may be traveling for work. You may be traveling as a result of a conversation with this individual or moving in a certain direction as a result. But I think you certainly are moving in a good direction, in the right direction, I want to say. Because 6 is a journey towards harmony. I just want you to be careful because there's something here that is not clear. We do have deception coming up as a message, right? And so I don't know what it is, but I have this, I just have a very strong intuitive feeling that something here is not, you're not being told something. It's almost as if some of you are being sent on an example would be if one of your bosses sends you on a trip for work and you go on this trip seemingly thinking it's for one thing and it really isn't. You find out later what it's really for or why they sent you away. But it all is not sort of as it seems on the surface. So just be extra vigilant. Gazelle is in because be extra vigilant. And this is how we know how these cards begin to impact. You need to take care this week. 4 of Cups, 4 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. Double 4. So we have a real need for stability. This came out also for Taurus, I'm going to say. A need for stability. 4 of Cups and for Virgo, actually. Virgo had a 4 of Cups scenario. So 4 is the number for wanting to maintain or establish stability. Oftentimes it's for maintaining stability, right? 4 of Cups, we're talking about a love connection. This could be somebody who's come back to you. This was a question in the last video. Could it be a lover that's coming back, an ex that's coming back? Absolutely. 4 of Cups couldn't indicate an ex that's coming back. It can indicate a new person that's coming in for you. But whatever the case may be, you're just not willing to accept this cup because it doesn't come with enough, right? You've seen it before. They're not really showing and proving to you. You don't believe what they're handing you. You're not buying what they're selling. And you're at a stage in your life where you're not willing to entertain relationships or accept cups of love that don't in some way show that they're going to be stable for you, that they're going to be good for you, or that they're going to be what you're looking for. And so in this way, you are not yet willing to accept this cup from this person. You send them away and like, look, try better, come back with something more than just the empty cup. And 4 of Swords is in as well. So in a lot of ways, not only with this lover or this person who's trying to come into you, but you're also in a lot of ways just pulling back from situations in your life and really trying to think about what your next step should be, right? You're taking your time, you're strategizing. 4 of Swords is a card for truce, but also sort of strategizing, realizing for some of you, if you've been arguing a lot or if you've been going through a lot of negativity, right? It's like you decide to just say, okay, enough is enough. Let's just stop this, or let me stop engaging in this dynamic and let me really take a step back and think about what my next move is. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to be? How do I want to communicate? Before I move any further in any direction, I need to think for myself what I'm doing, right? A lot of this can be about letting go of control issues, certainly, right? And so in a lot of ways this week, you really take control of your life, or you let go of control issues with regard of the rest of the world, right? And how they make you react. And you kind of begin to sort of pull back and start to really take a moment to make the right moves for yourself. And all of this leads to a very, very good outcome. It's almost as if the universe immediately pays you back with reaffirmation that you're doing the right thing, because 10 of Pentacles comes in. And that indicates that you have, that you're achieving success. You've made the right moves. It also indicates completion. So it can be that you are completing a particular stage in your life on a high note, right? And part of ending this stage on a high note can be what you've done here. Remember, I said 4 is about maintaining stability. So for some of you, if you're changing jobs, or if you're moving, or you're finishing out a relationship, all of this, right? What you're that kind of completion and moving out of that stage of your life, you're doing it in such a way that you're maintaining the stability you've already achieved, and you're leaving on a high note. You're leaving on a high note, and which is a 10 of Pentacles. That is a high note. You're not leaving having lost anything. You're leaving having gained so much, and you're ready to take the next step. Which, of course, after the 10, we go right back down to an ace and a new stage, or a new step, or a new path. Knight of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, and 9 of Cups. What's with the double numbers today, Capricorn? We've had double 4s. We've had double 9s. I think we had double 6. No, that was an 8 and a 6. So, yeah. Interesting. The earth signs today have had a lot of double numbers. Hello, Macadango. Hello, Cap Sun, Virgo Moon, Gemini Rising, Pisces Venus. Interesting. Wow. Okay. So we've got a double 9 now. So the 9 is all about walking the path. The 9 is the Hermit card, right? So with the 9, we're talking about initiation. We're talking about the last step of a journey. We're talking about initiation into a journey of the self, starting a path of internal sort of searching and understanding, a solitary path, getting into our own psyche and spirit and feelings, right? Not depending on anyone else, right? Also the number for being a bit isolated. It can be the number for alienation sometimes, depending on what it is, right? And it certainly is the number for initiation in terms of beginning the ending, and the beginning, right? So 9 is the beginning of the ending, which is 10, and the beginning of the beginning, which is what comes after, right? So it's that really strange stage where you're kind of crossing over from one part of your life to another, or one stage to another, one energy to another, one type of way of living to another. 9 of Swords has come in with great inspiration and momentum. So right now, you're really filled, I'm going to say, with a lot of ambition and desire. You have a lot of ideas coming in right now, and you really want to see them forward, right? You really want to follow them to their ultimate conclusion. Knight of Swords brings with it clear thinking, clarity. It can be that you've come up with a solution for a particular issue that you've been trying to solve for a while. Knight of Swords can bring with him just a different way of looking at a situation, and an understanding that kind of clears up the darkness, right? There's like an honesty that can come in. Even sitting on right now, my best friend said something hurt and ignored me from... good morning, B. Okay, so, yeah, so you're moving forward. Sorry if I'm pausing, I'm reading some of the chats. You're moving forward with this new sort of like idea, or this way of handling a particular scenario, right? So Knight of Swords definitely brings honesty, brings clear thinking, solutions suddenly pop up, right? Inventiveness, right, comes up. This is all the realm of the mental, the thoughts and communication. So this is a sort of a fury. Knights are air and swords are air. So here we have air of air. So there's a lot of thinking going along, a lot of inventive thinking, a lot of inspiration going on right now. And this is coming in. This could also be somebody that you're dealing with, and when you're with them, you guys really vibe off each other. It might be a really good partnership for working together or creating together, right? And then you have this 9 of Pentacles and 9 of Cups. It's quite interesting because 9 of Pentacles talks about a level of abundance, having, you know, achieved a certain level of abundance, Capricorn, but still feeling very, very alienated from others by that level of abundance. Oftentimes with 9 of Pentacles, this individual is somebody who has work their whole life to achieve a particular career goal, right? Or a goal in the material, acquiring money or acquiring business, acquiring fame or what have you, which is not bad things. These are all still all creative things, right? But the work that you've put in and the level of status that you've achieved has oftentimes alienated you from others. It's oftentimes you've had to pay the sacrifice of deeper relationships to achieve this level of abundance. And when the Nine of Pentacles coming in, you kind of realize that. And oftentimes, Nine of Pentacles can indicate a time in your life where you are not willing to do that anymore. You realize, you see that you are a bit alienated from others. You stop this pursuit to realize that, oh, it's, where are my friends at, And this isn't that you've ignored them or, it's just that sometimes, depending on how your life goes, our lives diverge. And especially if you acquire a lot of success or fame or money, not everybody can follow where you follow. You know what I mean? It's like they don't have the funds, they don't have the reserves or the money or the status to be able to keep up with you. And so you naturally grow apart from people. In any case, you realize this and you really want to give relationships a chance. You want to give a deeper relationship a chance. Nine of Cups talks about someone also who's been very, very blessed. And again, you've had a lot of blessings. Yes, I hope you get the interview too as well, darling. Macadango, I do. Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Cups. So you're realizing how it's time for you to sort of maybe put less focus on the abundance, this acquiring abundance, or perhaps less focus on whatever this area is in your life, right, that has somehow alienated you. It could even just be running your own business. It doesn't have to be the money that you make. It just could be the work that you've been putting in, right? To sort of take a step back so that you can give your deeper relationships a chance. Part of that is this energy coming in here. This could be somebody who is really inspiring you and you want to get closer with them. You want to open up your heart chakra to them. With the Nine of Cups, this is a wish fulfillment for some of you. It could be that in the back of your mind, you've been kind of waiting for this knight in shining armor to sweep you off your feet, right? It could be that, now, swords is also communication. And this is supportive communication. So, for instance, Macadango, if you're doing an interview, this could very well be the interview that pulls you out of a particular environment that you're in. And it could very well be your wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups is about wish fulfillment. So, in any case, whether this Knight of Swords leads you to a different path or leads you to your objective, right, which for you would be moving or traveling, or whether it is something else. This is the example. I'm using your example for the rest of the Capricorns. Whatever this inspiration is, then this momentum that the Knight is bringing in is allowing it to progress. It's allowing it to go forward. And this is what it will bring you out of where you're at now. For some of you, even though where you're at now may be a beautiful garden of your own doing, but it will bring you out of where you are now. And for some of you, it will be a wish fulfillment in a particular area. Seven of Swords, Three of Pentacles, and the Star. Now here we're talking about be careful not to be too hasty. All right? Don't cut corners. Again, this is about achieving goals and dreams for yourself. Don't cut corners. Seven of Swords is the card for futility. This is my great hare and the tortoise story. This character is the hare. Nothing he can do is going to allow him to win this race. And this is going to have to be the last spread, guys, because this is running on. And I have to be ready for the 3 o'clock reading for Cancer. So Seven of Swords reminds us not to be too hasty, not to cut corners, Capricorn, because you're trying to achieve something here with this Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles talks about really promoting yourself, wanting to reach out further in the world, wanting more people to see your talent, engaging with more people in your particular field or career. People are starting to ask for you by name, or you're starting to get a certain amount of notoriety for your skill. This is where you are wanting to progress. You're wanting to get a more loyalty coming in, more perhaps even fame, right? Business. Three of Pentacles is all about progress and works, right? Progress and works, progress in your career, putting your mind, body, and soul into it. But for some of you, you want it so badly that you're beginning to cut corners. Be careful not to cut corners, right? Because if you try to cut corners, if you try to sort of beat beat the time curve, right? Beat the timeline, or beat nature, beat the universe and bringing it in faster. But you're using tactics that aren't really wholesome, good, beneficial, positive tactics. You won't win. This is a card for fertility. You're just going to get further and further from your goal. Just like the tortoise and the hare. The more that the hare tries to come up with clever ways of beating the tortoise, the further away the hare is from the finish line. And the tortoise ends up winning the race. Okay? This is all about wish fulfilling. Really trying to bring down your desire and inspiration and manifesting it here on earth. And in order to do that, you have to constantly be always in touch with yourself and true to who you are. Star energy is absolutely at odds with Seven of Swords. It's total polar opposite, because Seven of Swords, you're not connected to your higher side. You're trying to achieve something great by using low vibrational means. Here with the Star card, we realize that in order to achieve your greatest ambition or your desires, you have to act always in line with who you are. You can't cut corners, and you can't compromise your moral, ethical, or emotional center in order to achieve your goals, because it won't work. All right, guys, this is it. I am going to call it. This is your weekly reading for October 13th to the 19th for all Capricorns. Thank you so much to Aries Kappa D, Mechadango, and B for stopping by and for chatting. I really, really appreciate it. If you guys share my video on your social medias, that really helps me out. Share it with your friends, like, subscribe. All of that really helps me. This is what I do for my living now, and I really love it, and I really love all you guys for stopping by. So that's the last of the Earth sign readings for the weeklies. If you want to jump right into the water signs with me, we are going to kick it off at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the reading in Cancer. But for right now, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.